He was doing really well in that first map, so I don't know exactly what's going on there. I hope he's okay. But we are starting the match, so we're here on the pistol rounds, and we'll see. We're starting on the defensive side for Astralis, so it'll be a real test. Nice to see this half first.
Let's get it on. Backs against the wall, Ninjas. Nice call out. Oof, good push into short side. Config and Blame, good for one, and then Config doubles it up. So it's only the monster play coming in from Ninjas that's left over on this T-side pistol. And Device gets tapped away by Lucky. Just clean execution from start to finish for the most part. Esatak will be able to escape with Bomb and his life. But for how long does he hold on to both those items?
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Well, I mean, you know, if he can find a way to score a bomb plant, that's how you win. That's the win right there. Ooh, look at that Glock. That's not bad.
Yeah, full Emerald Glock with foil and Tropic stickers. Holy moly.
Yep.
You've got one of these.
That's pretty good, yeah.
I watched you unbox it.
I gave it away, though. I gave it away.
Yeah. You said, does anybody want it? And I messaged you within 2 minutes and said, dude, I would love that.
Yes.
And where's my Glock, Launders?
Not you. No, I didn't give it away to you.
I know.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Okay. You're going to have to buy one from the Steam market, I think.
This is a bomb plant?
Oh, he gets a bomb plant.
No way he just walked up and got a bomb plant.
He did. Just mosey onto the site, get a bomb plant.
Sure. All right. We'll give it to him. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt as well because, ooh, settle down now. Oh, my goodness. Glaive in the 1v1 was locked in for that, but he takes it. And that's Astralis, yeah, sure enough, giving away a bomb plant. The first bomb plant of this entire series for the Ninjas in Pajamas.
Wow, they didn't plant a single time in that second half, huh?
No.
Flawless. Undefeated on land with this new lineup, undefeated on CT side, undefeated on nuke.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
And that's all factual.
Yeah.
My man's spitting facts.
They're also undefeated on Overpass so far.
Okay. Now you're getting ahead of yourself.
Only just tell the truth. They hated him because he told the truth. Read it. Read what it says.
Für einen Tapetenwechsel. Du hast in der Verdient TRS Reisen.
Wow, I almost understood it because it sounded so right.
I know Max is in production right now, just losing his mind.
Yeah. He's cross-eyed right now.
Feel Fortnite. Pistols up for Ninjas in Pajamas, double AK. You believe in the double AK on Overpass?
Yes.
Me too. So once you can close this gap towards this A site, if the pistols can get anywhere close to the opponents, then suddenly those rifles in the back serve as a great support. But, oof, nice couple of shots from Glaive. Blame pops up from Connector and executes poor Plopsky. Never had a damn chance. That's one of the AKs already down, and the other one firing off towards long. I'm sure they won't overface it. This is going to have to be some kind of a burst, either through Connector down to B or just headstrong into the A site, because currently Astralis, they've got the Ninjas corralled.
I really wonder if NIP, because of what we saw in Nuke, will try to lean this game plan more heavily towards A to put some pressure on the oppers to deliver, because obviously the op is instrumental on this map, particularly on A. And from what we saw from the last map, surely Device is going to be the best op on the server right now. But Glaive is a very good scout. He always has been, even though the opping is kind of new. He's definitely picked up the scout a ton in his career.
Yeah, he's good with it. Zipic's also playing from long, so they know that everybody here for the Ninjas has got to be coming into the A site, and Config going to cut them down 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's a Config maneuver right there. No one else does it like that.
Confidence, man. Guy exudes confidence.
Confidence with a K. So the thing is that because of the amount of free, like quote-unquote map control you get off the early round, the CT side, you have to have the ops have to have really, really solid protocols when it comes to taking engagements, falling back. The falling back is actually the easy part. I mean, it all gets very, complicated when you play at this level, but of the two things, the thing is you can continuously fall back, but if you don't get compensation as you're falling back, then your team's going to be continuously losing position. The rotations are going to be stressed really heavily, so there will be, an onus on Glaive to get something out of these spots, and he can't just have a mediocre game. Particularly with the op, I mean. Yeah, he was good outside the op, it's just that.
I feel like all of that, right? All of that point especially is emphasized on Overpass and the role that he's playing as the bathrooms forward player. Like,
yeah,
you gotta be able to step up to it. It's curious to me that he's continuing to play the scope. I thought, maybe it would be certain positions on Nuke. It's a new team, so maybe it's like a placeholder type ideology. Hey, I'm gonna do this for now while we all settle in. But already some consistency here for the new version of Astralis. M4A1S will be picked up, and placed alongside the AK of Rez.
Okay.
Oh my, Glaive
Yo.
is just tearing them apart. Boom, bop, bop. Scout shots on. I got you, Config.
He had to collect everything. He's worried about. He's going to make sure to get the utility left on the ground first.
Yes.
Dabs come last. They're still critical. They're important, but they come last. Some excellent shots. He's hit roughly 97 scout shots already by round 3. That's a good sign. And now instantly into the double op setup of Config and Glaive. Config does pick up as a hybrid sometimes. And not as consistently as he already has done on Astralis so far, but yeah, he is a hybrid.
It's crazy to me that, you know, hold on, they saw Blame F.
They saw him, yeah.
Yep, he's going to get isolated here. Can he take anybody with him? Because they are coming at him in full force. Blame F, the first casualty, but it's wild when Glaive is opping over top of Lucky, and so is Config.
Yeah, already crazy to see Blame playing, you know, that aggressively in his position, but could have turned into a lurk simultaneously. Oof, like ships in the night. Whoa. My God, no reason.
No way.
Oh, man, they're going to be nuts to butts in a second. Device and Glaive, it's like they're on the same team again.
Oh, my God, but they're not.
And
but they're not.
Surely Glaive's the one to make noise when he moves back, right? Device is going to be lurky as hell.
Esatag with bomb.
They are literally walking through the site right now.
Esatag with bomb trying to come in through party. He's going to get caught off.
Oh, wait a second. But no, Glaive's not going to have any idea they're on the site right. Oh.
He just backs up into 3 players, but has no clue.
Oh, this is such a weird spot because
it's going to leave Device. He's still pushed forward. And, yeah, second player caught off guard. Make it a third. Zipic's not able to react fast enough. So what a wonky situation. And yet, solid recovery from the Ninjas in Pajamas.
Unlucky, really.
Yeah.
And that is something that it's kind of hard to put exactly pin down why, you know, that can, like a moment like that can happen. But you will find, you know, that's going to happen less to somebody who's just more regularly opping on like a part of a map, right? Those kinds of timings are going to be less possible and just less likely. But Device also had no idea that Glaive was just right in front of him on the inside of bathroom. So
close.
Yes, it was a two-way street. Interesting spot. This one right here, Blame just had no idea he got spotted crossing, even though he went silent. And even after Glaive goes down, Device is way farther ahead and wasn't even the guy to kill him as well.
That shadow on the staircase and then commits for the second. So very nice bit of timing here employed by the Ninjas in Pajamas to get themselves in.
That was a strange one. You just kind of walk past that. Weird timing.
Game goes on.
Game goes on. But it was an expensive loss, right? 2 ops. They can't instantly buy up into those ops again, so that'll be something that they'll have to forego for this next round, even if they do buy. And it is a very mixed buy. They do pick up an op on Glaive. Config's all the way down to a Deagle. It's the amount of money spent.
By no means ideal. And yet doable. We talk about the analyst of the Ninjas in Pajamas from time to time. Mahone.
Our boy. You know, a friend of all YouTubers.
I knew you'd get excited.
One of the very best. Absolutely.
Wouldn't have wanted to do his job in preparation for this match.
It was such a oh my God. Yeah. What does he even do? I mean, maybe it's the easiest job ever. Just can't do anything, really.
Yeah. We saw...
Just list off everyone's stats.
We saw the Ninjas yesterday. We're like, yo, where's Mahone? They're like, back at the hotel. Analyzing. And I thought to myself instantly, like, analyzing what? Because it's sure as hell not Astralis.
Well, he was doing the back rubs for Rez. That helps out. Wow. He dinked Plopsky through the wall and then also killed him.
Wow. Config does what he wants.
Poor guy. Poor guy. But yes, Mahone, fantastic YouTube channel. We were sad to lose him in the YouTube community, YouTube analysis, CSGO analysis community when he went to NIP. But at the same time, it was an amazing opportunity, and we're glad to see him. And I've heard from the NIP players that he's done an incredible job.
Well, that's high praise.
And they wouldn't lie in private, right? So
Lucky gonna get burned out of this spot. Not a comfortable position for him, but tucked more so onto short side. Rez gonna use this as an exit route. And, Lucky comes up short versus Hampus. Zipix trying to find damage through smoke, and Config just, oh my God, making that Deagle sing. Not to mention Blame F at a distance, Glaive in with the op, and nobody's going to escape. It is a shutdown from Astralis on B.
Oh, that's beast mode. You had this little trap card in the corner with Config looking up with his Deagle, and even though the whole mag ran drive from the other player who was in pit, they had no idea there'd be an extra man there. So even though he went down to the Deagle, look at the damage and impact that he did. Config, such an X factor. One of the most interesting riflers in the history of the game because of his potential peak. Still unbeaten in his kill regulation. He actually did it on Overpass. 47 kills in regulation, I believe, versus Renegades. And that record was set years and years ago.
Oh, Lucky gonna fall victim to Device. His prying eyes through short side. Flame's got to extinguish the Molotov and run back up towards Party for a duel. Hamp is gonna give him that fight. Boy, Map's gonna win it.
Oh, he's so prepared.
Straight jab to the teeth. Hampus down for the count. Config challenging the connector door. That's gonna activate Rez. He feels like he could find a bit of timing here. Glaive towards barrel, spotted, and just insta-pop.
He saw that off. He freaked out. He's like, you're dead. You're not looking at me. Yeah, and it's like moments like that, you probably wouldn't see Device get caught off, you know, in those positions. Oh, Device spots a barrel.
Warning shot.
Yeah, the rotation back is actually going to be kind of difficult. They throws a flash.
He
does get out, yeah. He had to do it in some kind of risky way, but he managed it.
This is everybody coming at him, though. Ninjas.
Let's pay attention to support here from his rotating teammate, first and foremost.
Config from Bank playing behind boxes, maybe looking to draw attention. Good spray from Blame for one. Config's been set up. He drops bomb, gets around into the cover, takes a second with him, and now Device locked in from the flower pots, hits the first shot, tap, good night.
Brutal.
Config's got the clutch.
Damn, man, the way he plays it. It's so confident, but it looks like such a checkmate. Like, what are you supposed to do there? Most people would play it kind of 50-50, stand behind the box, take half of the angle. No, he gets out right in your face and says, I know exactly where you're going to pop up. I'm going to win this duel. So many other players would die in this position. 1 for 1. That's bonkers. Hell of a series from Config at this point.
Yes, sir.
5-1 start here for Astralis. And again, it looks like they can't rely on their ops. But again, it looks like that's not even a real problem.
No, because they've got Config.
It will be in the greater scope of their matches.
Yes, sir.
Right? And that's something that they're going to have to address. And
yes.
There is also the idea that, of course, this is, if Glaive is taking on this role full time, that he'll also improve as the games go on, if that's really going to be the case. But I can't help but feel like there might be a different change that happens with the roster. It just as a more natural one.
You know,
since he's such a good aggressive rifler.
You know what they want, right? You know what production wants.
Farley to join Astralis?
No, they wanted me to read that, Wanders. They're giving us signs.
Do it.
Literal signs. No, it's too late. Can't give people what they want all the time. Then they get their hopes up.
I'm a nice guy, so I'd have given it to him. I also didn't notice right away.
Oh.
The next one, I'm going to make you read it.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
1 rifle this time around. Do you believe in the single rifle?
Not as much as I believe in the double rifle.
Yeah. Nothing quite like the double rifle.
But, you know, playing pistols up close onto A site is always something that can work out on a map like Overpass. Especially when you get setups like this on the double long, because the pistols can just play through bathrooms, and then the snap of a finger, they are in your bomb site. Within the range of lethality, which Hampus currently is not. Pinned down behind the old oak.
Scouring the bathrooms, clearing out short bath, coming around to long, putting some pressure on the A setup to get everyone back behind Dice. That's the goal. But Astralis, they're pretty frisky. And blame F. Look how aggressive he's being.
He's gets a bit labored, but he gets there. Going to be attacked from bathrooms. Still manages to kind of like cut off a bit of a push. Oh, but he looked away. Hampus will fight over the flames. Device, that's the AK we're talking about. And Glaive turned his attention. He just got tapped by Rez.
Yeah.
Perfect distraction and a perfect double. Ooh, between Device and Rez. Deagle comes in to lend a helping hand. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. We plant a bomb, we blow shit up, and maybe we take a second round.
Op's not even shooting at this point. Glaive is literally not even taking any shots. So it just might be a liability, because maybe you want to use it in this game, but you also save so much money if you don't. And surely there's more opportunities to be in the round if you're just rifling, if you're Glaive, right?
The solo AK round. It worked.
It worked, yeah. When we believed in the double AK, that didn't work.
But that's the prime example that I'm talking about. When you get your pistol on the exit of bathrooms, like that's such a viable hit. You see how quickly, you know, I'm assuming Device has to get the kill towards the dumpster, but Rez goes from bathrooms to on-site in the matter of a second. And there it is. Ninjas, nicely done. Second round win. Kind of comes out of nowhere in a great fashion, though. That's definitely going to, you know, kind of boost up the T side. And you can see Device literally trying to do the exact same thing.
I can see Astralis playing hard to expect CS. The way that BlameF is, he's like lurking, but so aggressively, like in your face, walking around the front of bathrooms like that.
Sometimes in playgrounds, sometimes on bathrooms, sometimes inside of connector.
I wonder if he's trying to find that round where NIP don't show up and then he uses it to flank B, but a lot of the rounds have ended A and Ninjas. For better or worse. Gotta be scared of these deagles.
Yeah, we'll see if Astralis can do to Ninjas what was done to them.
There's no support off short here for Config, so he's just gotta hope a timing can come here because that door could swing open.
And it's about to with a flash on top of it. Oh, but it's not going to stop Config. Oh my goodness. A kill and 30 damage versus Esatag. So he does his job. Serves as a landmine. Smoke blocks off the prying eyes of Device, and Lucky's going to stay committed to the wall. A lot of pressure on Lucky in this one, and he's been caught 2 times now down on this B site by somebody kind of coming in from short side. Can't afford to let that happen in a round like this once Config's kind of primed them. A boost up from Zipix won't spot a body on short, but Lucky doesn't suspect that somebody can be pushed. He takes the info that short is clear, and he lets his guard down on that CQC fight. Zipix instead gonna have to shut this down, and with smoke ahead of him, they will get dangerously closer. Device fires off into the player into heaven, and it's gonna need to be Blame or Zip. 2v4 up close. Bomb planted makes this one even harder, but Zipix will find early impact. Hampus over towards short. Blame F now, hands on a gun. But he's lost his teammate through the smoke. Good job by Hampus to find impact, and Rez will close this one out. Deny any type of a success story from Astralis with the 2 rifle buy.
Got to be careful with that information. Sometimes they go for the boost, but it's not everything that they see, and Hampus finds the timing. The setup had a few holes, like even in this position. Obviously, that shot's so amazing because Config does not have an advantage when that door swings open. That's what you're supposed to do to clear out that area when someone's solo out there with a flash. Overpass B site's so interesting because you can know that there are multiple players back pit, but you can still safely plant the bomb, and there's this line drawn on the sand type beat with that interaction.
You just ignore them.
Yeah. The game gets a little bit closer.
Like most problems.
Always healthy.
Just ignore it. Config, hard to ignore this.
Bro.
Again, he's good for a headshot and some follow-up damage. Glaive gets magnetized into the line of sight of Esatag.
13 and 6 for Config already in this half. Casually dropped 20 or something in the first of Nuke, if I remember.
Yes. Did a hell of a job in his first official with Astralis. Oh, Blame F US from all the
Great gun. Can't believe it's free.
Yeah, right? They just got boxes of them. Look at this. Just the one tap.
The laser. How many did he see there? Did he only see Blame? Well, it's led the T's into the B site.
Yeah, and they're going to find this one for absolutely free.
All right. This makes the game a lot more interesting. Some very unorthodox situations, but I think it's also a product of the fact there's just so little tape to go off of.
I have nothing against Astralis, but I hope this goes 3 maps because if we had Mirage in the veto,
oh my God,
but then don't get to see it,
and you don't get it,
that's just the worst feeling.
What's that really?
It's the worst feeling possible.
Yeah, that would be a shame.
So
we are fingers crossed
for science.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to make sacrifices for science, and Astralis, they just have to accept that.
Yes.
Of course they won't, and I'm okay with that too. Gonna fight tooth and nail here to try and keep bodies inside of the bomb radius, but it's just gonna be Zipix to die. Goodbye.
nails to the wall, gave it his best shot, try to get a dink off. Maybe they're playing close.
A fourth for the Ninjas.
Yes, yes, and the game grows closer. Now it's kind of weird how the way that rounds were won, but there are clearly problems for Astralis. Like, even if some of the kills are like, oh, that's a strange situation, that probably wouldn't happen twice. The ops are a glaring issue. Some of the lurks are not that effective right now for the way they're playing the CT side. They're not getting that really consistent coverage over A and then drawing the rounds out and the utility out into an execute. Most of these rounds are ending in a default.
Zipic's being vocal in the attack timeout.
Got some ideas coming out of the Zip. I'm scared to know how many ideas are up there.
He has calculations for every possible play, every possible clutch on all of the maps in every situation.
He knew he was going to win 4 majors in 2016.
The only problem is sometimes it takes him so long to dig through his encyclopedia of knowledge. That's the only reason he loses rounds.
He needs MVME. That's it.
Yeah.
He needs to upgrade.
But Astralis still in a solid state. Op on Glaive.
Well done. I said well done.
Thank you.
Happy?
Recognize I'm praising you. This is my backpack. Glaive's gonna run away. And the Ninjas gonna follow up ever so closely. But not too fast, okay? You don't wanna go sprinting into some kind of a trap. They will cautiously play through the bathrooms and gather control. But as they take the top of bathrooms, it's actually Astralis to push through the bottom. Esatag cautious of the possibility that somebody's behind them.
And the A-site setup will be tested again.
Tough spot for Blame F. He's got cover, of course, and Glaive lays down the law with the first op shot. Rez gonna throw the Molotov deep, but Blame puts a smoke even closer. And that's gonna give him a little wiggle room. They push through, and Blame's got the double. A shutdown offense that offers Overbomb and a little bit of damage versus Blame thanks to the grenade.
Wow, he knows his AK was sticking out a lot, but I don't think it was spotted because the op kill came in so early.
Yep.
So he could react off that flash. That's nice awareness from Glaive.
He was being guaranteed that Glaive had his back. The trust of a teammate is a valuable thing.
And I think this idea to kind of starve out NIP a lot more is working out. We do have Glaive playing kind of all the way back in this situation. In the safest angle, it's the hardest to get timing. Like, it's actually impossible for him to get timing there because he's got Blame F watching the outside of the divider, so there's no way that, you know, device walk-up could happen again. So it's kind of a vanilla way to start the round. But oftentimes versus NIP, they will just eat time off the clock for you if you do give them space. I really think that's a viable strategy versus NIP's T-sides. I think one thing they're good at is being thorough on T-side and actually, you know, finding opening kills as punishment, which is maybe why they were so good versus Astralis' aggressive options.
Yeah.
But they do have a problem with the clock.
Well, it never stops ticking. Time starting to run out in this first half as well. We're in the back third. Astralis still leading by 2. And with that setup in the last round, that convincing A hold, I'm starting to think to myself, like, they could pull ahead still on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's just a great adaptation that still hasn't bared all its fruit, right?
Yep.
So we can see if that'll continue to work. The top bathrooms play.
To me, it's really just that like dominance on the B site that's anything. Blame F.
Oh, that flash is tough.
Yeah, perfect.
Woo.
Iced out, never had a chance, and never had a teammate either to help him with this one. He was very much a one-man army.
Where was that?
Oh, utility drop. Hampus going to be the grenade mule. He's locked in the corner of long. And that could allow for the rest of the Ninjas to play through bathrooms if they choose to, but you can see them very wary of another setup like last round. Obviously with a man advantage, they know that it's not going to be the Blame F device show or Glaive show. Config. Oh, he goes.
Wow.
Sees all the grenades obviously being thrown, and with Hampus having his hands busy, Config's going to chomp down on that chance. Lucky blinded. Burns Plopsky. No eyes needed. Bomb dropped in the process. ESA tag denied, and Xyp9x is keeping this crisp.
All right.
A great hold on the A site. Config takes initiative, and then they anchor in.
Man, Config is so good at finding those opportunities. Like, he recognized that so many players would wait, and then they'd be out of the timing and come in late, but he's got so much confidence, dude. Also, Xyp9x was 3-3 when this round started, so he said, if you're not going to come B, I'm going to come to A. And lays down the 3K. But it just goes to show you how many times Ninjas have really tried to attack this A site.
I'm curious where all those grenades were landing for Hampus as well. Damn Config having to interrupt the executes. But Blame F keeping it tight. Insta-frags device.
Oh man, that opening kill. That's
so big.
Yeah, it's so big.
And so confident.
Because they know now they can move right into their super passive game plan. Like,
and he does that lurk. Goes back into connector.
There's always that... Oh, a little bit of a bait to try to draw Xyp9x's attention away. It seemed like he was still aware.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. One guy shoots through smoke while the other one inches into the site. But the only problem for Ninjas is obviously that leaves Hampus on 3 HP. So he'll grab a Galil. Sacrifices must be made for the greater good of the Ninjas in pajamas.
Rotation's kind of interesting because they're expecting clearly a re-aggression, but you can see the A site's been evacuated entirely, and Blame F is controlling the fast rotation downstairs, but he's only going to be in a retake spot for, you know, if the A site hit comes in. Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, he's been very kind of like liberal with the way that he lurks on this CT side. I kind of like seeing it, honestly. You don't see him take this many risks normally, but of course it's not always going to work.
Still a bit of timing if they want to head back down to B. 3 smokes if they want to throw a fake exec and double back. Because for the time being, we've got the majority of what's left of Astralis locking in A site. Lucky ahead of Glaive. Op support looking to be given. Grenades being thrown, but now with Glaive down, you'd think Lucky is doomed. Long peek, shut down. He's got this corner position, and they're going to come at him. A second from Lucky. That's good enough. Good enough to put Config into a winnable spot, but he has to be quiet, and he has the op. So it's going to make for a really awkward retake, and he opts not to. Instead, conceding a 5th round win to the Ninjas, and I'm sure Blame F will be kicking himself that he came out of connector.
It was 5v4 at that moment. Yeah, they got the kill, and like, I actually thought Blame was going to fall all the way back. Oh, it was 4v4?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right, because they found one back. So we don't know what Blame F's decision is going to be if they don't get the 4v4, because now the pressure's back on. So a nice I actually didn't think it was in Ninjas to find a tactic like that, because how slowly they go sometimes, but they find that kill to bring it back. They encourage Blame to try to make up for the fact that, you know, maybe they don't feel totally comfortable in the 4v4, and they punish him too. That's how they secure a round. Well earned by NIP. Keep this one competitive. Feels very much like there's a nice honeymoon effect going on for Astralis, where everyone's feeling like, you know, very good overall.
Most notably, of course, right now we've got the Complexity duo top fragging for Astralis, 14 on Config, 11 for Blame F. It looks like Config's going to take place back towards A. Ooh, fast one maybe. Device right through short side. We've got Glaive posted. Not able to get that op shot, and he falls away immediately. 3 members of Astralis on the B site to start. Plopsky wounded. Glaive finds the wallbang damage. And there's more to be had, but you gotta be cautious. Taking a huge risk with these jump spots.
Versus Rez, no less.
Yeah.
There's one guy who's gonna clean your clock. All right. I think some of these openings have been opportunities past with these potential flanks, so Config will be the tip of the spear this time.
Ooh, easy pickup.
As they call him. Spearman.
Yeah. Is that what they call him? Spearman?
Spearman, with all the lead characters and everything.
Yes. Blame F looking to do the same thing and shave a player off of this attempt of the Ninjas to get closer and closer to A. I like that Lucky's being proactive, but if they go too aggressive, then ESA tag's going to catch him. And Lucky being caught on B has been a problem. Gotta minimize mistakes at the 35-second mark. Blame tries to commit outward, sees that Rez is throwing utility, but they don't see any, total confirmation. Config and Blame F shoulder to shoulder. That's a lot of firepower for Astralis on this A site, and Ninjas now nowhere to be found. Esatag, the front runner. It's a 2-2 split into the B site. Lucky, deleted by Rez. And this op of Glaive, gonna be a tough spot. Combat shot connects, but it's just damage, not kills. Look at the HP here for the Ninjas. Config quickly attacks from the back, and that could draw more bodies into him. Maybe Device goes big, as he has the full bar of health and a flash to his name. 2 ops in the post plant, but an even 3v3.
No utility to work with.
No, it's just gonna have to be the guns. Blame F. Well, he's waiting for his chance to strike. Rez cuts one off. Esatag pops up, and it's going to need to be all Config. He takes to the top of the bomb site, and the time's ticking pretty quick. Esatag hides in. Config does damage, but he needs another kill and the defuse. He's on for the ace, and he just can't win it. Despite his best efforts, the Ninjas will secure themselves a 6.
Well, one hell of a try. Yeah, they get themselves a 6. Another hard-fought round. It's very tricky, all these little moves, but it's just enough, right? I feel like Lucky's making there's definitely some discomfort on both sides of the map right now. Lucky has been caught off guard on B a number of times. Holding angles, I feel like he feels good about, but really aren't. Once in a while, he's been done dirty, you know, where they did a boost to C short. They didn't see anyone, then he got caught. But then also on the A site. Now Glaive is spending more time on that side. It feels like Config is basically the best player on the map for Astralis by a big margin, and he's trying to fill in the gaps on both sides of the map.
Doing what he has to. When he needs to. Ninja's looking to steal away the lead and end this with a 1-round edge. Hampus sometimes, I love watching Hampus try to just find these timings on B-site overpass. There's so many iterations of teams he's been on where that's just his bread and butter. And I've heard players talk some smack about him. It just doesn't make sense. It's unpredictable, and for that reason, ooh, it's worth your respect. But that's 2 kills up from Astralis. Considering they only have 3 rifles to work with, a perfect start to round 14.
Yeah. This one should be a little bit much to come back from, and now they're going to look at the money as well, and it's crossed a minute. If they get something for free, I think they go for it. If not, I mean, they might think about carrying this over into round 15. It's a pretty dire situation. You know, when you go to Monster, if you grouped up for it, then, you know, there's always a chance you could still kind of win the rounds. And Red's going to see some opportunities. They'll push through. Okay, all 3 T's go down, so there won't be any kind of save, actually. Astralis just go really aggressive, man. The fact that they do that in a 5v3 as well.
Yeah, right. They just wanted to end it, make sure that they don't allow for the Ninjas to slip in somehow.
This is a weird half. This is a very weird half.
But I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's good in spot. I mean, there's just so much to talk about, right, with all the new positions. It's beautiful to get this little bit of a roster shakeup. Of course, there's Abe behind him.
Config on the cusp of another 20 kill half. Yeah, 19 right now.
Yeah, he actually had 18, so he's already crossed what he had on Nuke in the first half.
Look at him go.
It's pretty impressive.
It's important to be honest, Launders. Thank you. Flame F. Oh, yoy, yoy. Hey, hey.
It's a nice one.
Device with the 1 dig.
Wow, not a single player on NIP is positive right now. And neither am I, because that was such a negative comment to make.
Config flashing for upper connector. Ooh, he actually dies to Plopsky here in the base of it, but at least Glaive can find an escape route. He'll double back all the way to the A site. Lucky looking to join Zipix on B. And a very critical 3v3 to close out number 15. The Ninjas... Double deagle, exit from Monster. Very clean. You know, 2 digs in the round. And Rez is going to add another. Plopsky, 2 kills with the Galil. This first half ends as close as can be, but it's been so bad.
Creativity in those 3Ks and how he moved. Like, you could, he's one of those players that even with a rifle, you took away the name tags, took away the skins, took away the name, you could see that it's him, you know, the way that he plays the game. Such a unique style. It's really cool to watch when you can stand out like that at this level and still have such an incredibly high impact. 19 kills, beating his first half of the last map where he had 18, and really carrying Astralis through a very awkward first half on Overpass.
Oh, speaking of awkward, weird movement there. Plopsky sees a shadow, but then the jump doesn't come through the door. Also doesn't land on the bench.
I kind of feel like he asked for an awkward fight, though. You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's fair.
The shadows could pass him by.
Yeah.
It's not a bad spot. That definitely can work, and you do get the shadows, but situations like that, I suppose.
A little bit weird, man. Like Willy Wonka weird. Smokes over the top of the site. Device, tough spot, but no challenge from Long here. Very passive from Xyp9x, and that's why.
Ooh.
He waits just long enough for Device to give up his side.
Said I played with you long enough, son.
Yeah. In your head. And now we've got a bomb plant comfortably for Astralis, so solid start to the pistol.
No, this is bad because this is taking us farther away from Mirage.
Oh, you're right. This is awful.
We hate this.
I'm angry. And I don't really know why.
Yeah. As long as the game's exciting. So what do we... Oof. Okay, well,
come on.
Is the retake possible? 4v2?
Yes, it is.
Rez, they're coming in hot. Rez alone, 1v3, a little bit far.
Yeah, that would have been his chance at the 1v2. Then maybe he beats Xyp9x, but instead it's Astralis taking second pistol on this T side. 3 for Config, 22 and 8.
Say it again?
22 and 8.
Yeah. He's got his hands on every round, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. Give me that auto exec, Mr. Config. Don't know if NIP can survive the second pistol win. We'll see about the T side.
Yes, we will.
Where Astralis made their money, honestly. Yeah. Both halves, but now they don't have to worry about that op as much.
Astralis odds to the favor still, even before we head to the unknown of Mirage. Easy B pickup from Blame. Lucky, gonna get tested, but survives the first fight, and Config helps out with the second. There's a player still in sight with Esatag, but a jumping Blame F Mac 10 to the forehead is enough to kill any man.
What they're going to be able to threaten, I feel like, based on what we've seen so far, with the very few rounds of data that we have on this team, is an incredibly explosive T-half, and also on Overpass, you know, monster hits, right? No matter how bad you are as a roster, if you have drilled one monster hit, you can use that more times than you're supposed to be able to, you know, based on like the map's design, just because you can get, as long as you can clear out that close right angle, get your back against the wall, getting out of monster outside the pillar, it's really hard to stop. I mean, no matter how good you are. And 2021 CT side CS, it has a lot to do with doubling up towards the wood wall as well as the right side of monster, and so much emphasis on that. And that's pretty much where the rounds begin and end sometimes with these B-side hits, because there's no ceilings over the whole site. So if short control gets taken, or you just want to throw nades from outside monster, you can flash any point on the site, molly any point on the site, or nade any point on the site. Think about how easy the T executes on Nuke were, and there are basically, you know, designated glass windows that you have to use to throw select grenades through. Well, in Overpass, it is an absolute sandbox, and that's the scariest part for any CT team trying to defend.
And defend, they'll need to. If you guys are just joining us for Overpass, dude, it's been a couple of halves since we've seen Astralis on the T side, but I was kind of blown away by the aggression, the tempo, the really fast pace that they smashed Nuke with, and now this affinity for a B site. Like, that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I'm thinking this is going to be out of the gate. Astralis even taking a timeout prior.
And again, if they default towards A, now that they're on T side, they will also, you know, potentially have to go up against Device, who's one of the best players ever to play this map with an op, right? So they can avoid all that problems. And I think we've seen oftentimes the game plan starts out with the op towards A and then starts to lean towards B towards the end, depending on how the half goes.
Okay.
But we'll have to see what Glaive has in store for us.
I, for one, can't wait. But we'll have to. Passively, Astralis going to clear out connector first, and you know, listen, Ninjas, you got a P250 between the 5 of you, 2 flashbangs with Esatag. Maybe you get a lucky timing on a pop. Or maybe it's going to come down to the plop.
My nose left a little bit.
Yeah. I heard it.
Poopski.
Hey, man.
It's just funny to say.
Don't talk smack.
No, it didn't. You literally said plop.
That's no, I'm laughing. Okay. Flash into short, catch Xyp9x, take the AK, and that's you know, that's the silver lining Ninjas could really hope for. Anything beyond that is more than they kind of deserve. Blame F. Damn, poor Esatag. Didn't realize he'd be that deep.
You're supposed to be allowed to walk through your spawn backwards.
You're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But in Blame F's house, well, his rules. A jumping Lucky will distract long enough for Config to clear the last 2 kills. Astralis leading 11-7 on this T side. Config is 25 and 8.
Yeah, another 3 kills. He's got a straw hat on. He's farming. He is on the John Deere, and they're just blades of grass.
Come on down to Config Farms.
What kind of crops do they have?
We like to can up a good old ass whooping.
Not a crop. Okay. That's their export?
Yeah.
Okay. How much do they charge?
Too much.
$3.99.
Too much, man. I'm telling you, this food inflation. Smokes over the top of the B site. It's going to be a quick one. It's going to be lickety-split and a literal split if Lucky can come in from short, but for the time being, he staves off his commitment. Zipic's going to flash his way beyond the barrels. Plopsky blind as a bat, sitting down inside of the water, regaining some vision, but oh, there's a player right to his left. It's Hampus instead with the kill, and then Plopsky able to answer with one as well. Trying to find a multi-frag. It's Hampus with a gun that goes dry, and Blame F with an answer. Deals with the device up in the heavens, and he's looking for more. He needs more because Lucky is so tagged up and also playing with just the MAC-10, but Rez comes in from the upper shelf and pushes Lucky to the 1v3, Deagle MAC-10 only. Good damage, but now they know where he's at, and it's going to be a big ask. Too much in course, and Ninjas with their 8th.
Better coverage than Verizon on that hold. That was not bad. The They had one rifler towards Monster, so this is where things got sketchy, right? Because S-Tech does get one, but immediately traded out. Then everybody in support is playing way back. But Plopsky and Hampus do a good job of just sustaining, like maintaining their position, holding their passive angles, waiting for the rotations to come in. Rez picks the perfect time to peek out of heaven as well, and you could see Blame F's cog start turning. He's throws the molly towards CT so he can section out the fight behind the site, goes in for it, Rez peeks him and takes him out, and from there you're like, all right, NIP have their wits about them, and Astralis didn't have that drilled all the way through into the full explosion, because I think at the point where they went 1-for-1 coming in, I feel like they were probably 60-40 at that, at that moment.
Okay.
Like usually that's when it gets really, really scary for CT side, but it honestly looked very calm from the NIP camp, which is a great sign. And I brought up that, the stat about the fact that no one on NIP is positive, and that's still true even to right now, Rez being 12-12 as the closest, but they've been able to scrape together a lot of rounds because I feel like they've been the better team in a lot of situations.
All right, we'll see if we can scrape together consecutive round wins on this defensive half. A CT round win. Looks good on Ninjas. Let's see if they can get some more. It was a hell of a dry spell on Nuke, but this is their map pick, and this is Config's game.
What?
Already, he peeked into short
There's
B.
no one else in B.
It's completely clear.
Holy
if they go B, it's everything for them, but instead it's Rez and Plopsky aggressive into the playground, and now Astralis, they are in a desperate spot. Lucky solo down connector. Oh, what a weird position. Ninja's 4-player aggressive setup on A.
Oh, man.
The one threat is maybe they lose B, and it could have happened had the bomb not been committed onto playground. How the hell do they dig themselves out of this ditch? Lucky? Nope, gonna get shut down by Hampus. Zipic's pushing through the smoke, and it's a sweep from the Ninjas in pajamas. Config gonna catch Rez, but he has so little health that sure enough, a USP spam through smoke will get the job done.
They still never had the intel that it was the 4 aggressive setup out of spawn, so there was a chance that people would still be lurking around in different spots. There was a call, and I can't remember the round. There's probably some Counter-Strike genius out there with a great memory that can pull this one for me. But there was like a match point round where somebody, actually, I believe it was Cloud9 actually. Oh my God, NIP. Wait, I wonder if Esatag called that round, because I believe it was Cloud9 with Esatag and Alex who called that on like a match point round. They did a 4 aggressive setup on CT side, overpass, and then the team just went B. But in this situation, that's the good version. Yeah.
Nice to have. It was very fun to watch you facially work through that situation.
That was hard. That was very hard.
Guys, from home, it looked great. I believe you. I believe you, for better or for worse. And Astralis, currently looking worse than the Ninjas in pajamas. 4v3 weapon advantage, but you know who scares me? It's Config. He's losing his teammates and most of his HP. He will be toppled by device from the USP, doubling back, hunting Glaive, the bomb carrier on 30 HP. This game looking as tight as ever, but the Ninjas still trail, even after this one, by 1.
Looks like Mirage is coming. It's coming.
Well, settle down.
Okay, yeah, that was brutal rounds. Really good couple of rounds. Confidence rounds, and rounds where they just keep numbers up, and I'm going to guess someone's now probably positive on them.
No.
No, still working on it. But coming close, and more people are getting kills. It's obviously not all about you know, being black and white about who's got more kills than deaths. But yeah, now that we're coming closer to a tied score line, money's looking a lot better. The Swedish economy is at all-time highs.
Yes.
We'll see what we can do here from round 22. They'll try to chew through another attack from Astralis, and I think this is where Astralis will, you know, determine their mood for the next couple of rounds. If they get smoked here or not.
Molly's over the top. Ooh, Device sticks around and catches Glaive over top of the mid-peak. Just feels like we're going to have to keep falling with eyes on Config to see whether he can be the jackknife elsewhere when things go poorly. You know, think about how mobile he was in the first half, playing all the different positions, being thrown around the map in an attempt to do what he does. Much harder on the offensive half, and we can see it.
Can tell Astralis are just about to go for this exec again, but how many nades will be involved? Config walking all the way out.
Esatag ready for him, playing around the pillar. Config eats the flashbang. Esatag sees nothing, comes back, and is killed. Plopsky locked into short side. Lucky goes beyond, and because of that, he's going to find his headshot versus Hampus. Device with the op is cleared out.
Okay, all right.
Config 12 health, but a critical kill. Plopsky all the while still on short, and so is Rez. They're smoked, and they're boosting, and they're going to be avoided.
There's a potential late flank for the CTs as well. They're making noise. Well, if they do actually.
If they just go A, they've got this locked in.
Oh, this is just, will they live is the question. Red's coming to clear the tunnel. Blame that tight angle. Ooh, it's just good enough to give him the cover.
And Plopsky still doesn't know exactly what's up, but now the bomb plant confirms it. Astralis, good read on the situation.
Config 29 kills off these two entries, and just as you pointed out, went down to 12 HP off the first duel, and he wasn't even looking at his target. He's got that Yakinder effect, and I hate to compare Yakinder to him because Config's been doing it for a lot longer, of course. But no, the confidence that Yakinder's had this year in particular, and how amazing he's been as an entry. It's this idea that you can send him out into battle with all the flashes in the world coming at him, Molotovs at his feet, and his teammates dying around him, and he'll still manage to see through the interference and find the frag consistently. And right now, he is that X factor.
Hands down, man. If the Danes are Vikings, then Config's the Berserker. You throw him through the thick of it, he's going to inspire the people around him.
The Berserker.
Yeah, the Berserker.
That's a good name for him. He's doing it, man. He's making the team proud. First day in the jersey. As he pointed out in the interview with James earlier, it's been a long time coming, he's felt, and a lot of people have felt, to see him playing for Astralis. Alongside Blame F is not a timeline many of us thought that we would see, but no, I don't think anyone's mad about that.
No, not at all.
So, well, some fight left in Astralis, but it really is, a lot to do with him. And how much energy does he have to be able to take over this entire half is a big question. He's already done so much. He's going to need some assistance, I feel.
Double ops out of Ninjas in Pajamas, change up in this defense.
Yeah.
Device and Hampus swinging the big greens. And none of them on the side of Astralis. So let's see what's up as Device looks to post towards Fountain yet again. Squeaky door blown off its hinges. Zipix, the solo outside monster, and some jump spotting going on. Config looking for the headshot maybe. Device looking for the peak on the top of the stairs, but that's Lucky to step up. And here's the thing, we were criticizing the B play. Lucky looked very uncomfortable, and he gave up some critical kills, but now this is 2 rounds in a row that alongside Config, he's been crisp. Down towards B last round definitely helped. I don't think Config gets all 3 of those kills on such little HP.
That's true.
And if Lucky wants to come alive here and now in the later portion of this second map, no better time for him to show his value. Oh, so close.
By a hair.
Almost with the timing.
No, but you're right. You don't have to do everything to do a lot. And that's what Lucky's shown. Man. Love the fact that they don't shy away from this op. Esatag. Oh, he might run back into the problem. Oh, doesn't win his duel versus Config. I appreciate the idea in the 4v4. Config did look like he was about to give up stairs totally. They were going to move into the next phase of their game plan, but instead sold his own little fake with a spam at the top of stairs. It came right back down for the duel, and it's versus a Famas, of course. just to shine a light on the CT side economy. And even without device, Hampus puts together a frag.
4v3 as they sprint closer in.
Oh, it's open. Oh my, it's so open.
Completely theirs for the taking. A1S damage good. Config down for the count. Plopsky's going to be given another fight.
Oh, this is so dry. The duels are so dry. No smoke in heaven, no flashes here, and they're crossing the right side of the pillar.
Oh, 2 players down beneath heaven. Opper going to play towards Graffiti instead. It's Rez as the front runner. Zipix looking to keep it locked. Blame F down in the cubby. And Lucky further back, drawing the attention of the CT retake attempt. First one cut down. Hampus scoped in, causing Blame F to get an easy pickup and to leave Plopsky left on his own. It is a 13th for Astralis at a T side that is starting to break through.
Ninjas absolutely lean on this map in their pool, and this would be a pretty crazy upset. Honestly, just in this map, for basically a brand new team to be able to take one over them. 13-10 here for Astralis. T-side economy not looking great for Ninjas. So many good plays still coming out of both Lucky and Config in the second half, as you've already shone a light on very aptly. And the pressure put on Zipix in this off angle to combine with the crossfire of Blame F. It's too much to overcome. They get tunnel visioned on this one duel and then get shot in the side. And now they have nothing besides this M4 on Plopsky. No armor purchases as they think about playing from 14-10.
Yeah, they held on for as long as they could, but these last 2 rounds, both of which have Lucky's name on it, but oh, the Deagle. Rez looking for a second, and to take down Config, that could change everything. Oh, because we know that Astralis have leaned on him to get through this opening matchup. Dodging the flashbang, Rez looking for it, but again, it is Lucky to pick something up. And it's not the most critical of kills. It's not Plopsky's M4 taken away, but Glaive still within connector finds another kill, and so will Blame F. This front line from the A play.
Man, they've got so many operations going on at the same time.
So many different fights, so many positions, engagements, and options, and more importantly than anything, Mohan, it's kills. They are cutting away the pistols of the ninjas in pajamas, and they're cutting away their chances simultaneously too.
It's just, it's such an Astralis thing to be able to keep such a good inventory of the map, but allow people to still be their individual self and make all their plays, but understand where they need to be at a certain time. And here, they trusted Lucky, he delivered. They trusted Blame, he delivered. And Lucky delivers again. Everybody gets caught in rotation, which is the absolute ideal way to win rounds on T side. Spot someone walking. We've got to dig deep now. Ninjas, of course, didn't have much to work with. Don't want to overly emphasize that. It's a 4A setup once again. Bombs left back a little bit this time, which is actually a really important difference, even if they died. Estetag alone on the B site. They seem a bit more cautious about the idea that this is one of their opening plays. Really don't see Ninjas doing this too often. This molly for the Opper.
Yep. Hits the mark. Flushes Rez forward ever so slightly. Smoke's going to confirm it, but there's that potential long peek. Yep. Nicely done. Plopsky times it, and he gets a second. But this is the drawback.
They get the info again, but they left the bomb back. It can't be spotted by the CT side, but now it can be cut off. Hampus coming in fast on the flank. He gets shut down by Config. The awareness kicks in. The timing is there, and now the bomb is recollected with an open route to swing around as Config holds on to short side for Zipix to come in and plant.
It's a dangerous recovery, but Config making it look easier and easier. They take away the man advantage, and they get the bomb into position fast enough. Device smoked out just as he gets into heaven. And a daunting 2 versus 3, or it's 15 for Astralis. And Ninjas don't look like they're just going to walk away for the save. Another smoke towards heaven, but that's not the problem. It's the 2 CTs peeking in from Graffiti. Lucky gets dinked. That could be the opening, but he comes right back at the fight, and he deals with Plopsky. It's all on Device, and Lucky is finding some life.
Yes, sometimes he is a fourth quarter player. He really does have it in him, and he's starting to wake up like crazy, man. That's the caffeine injection mentally. He's in the game. He's recognized the circumstances, and he's not just there reacting. He's pushing the round forward, which is fantastic to see. This is an absolutely brutal scene here for NIP as they get decimated in this round. In my opinion, in my very humble opinion, with this 4A setup, obviously one of the biggest follies of it is the fact that once it gets spotted, and especially with the certain pieces given away, then you know that you can squeeze to the other side of the map, which puts so much pressure on the one guy in B site, right? And both times Config has found the B site opening. The difference is this time the bomb is left closer to them, and Config has the awareness to stop the short rotation as well. And they have an idea of the setup, even if they aren't totally sure. And maybe that was enough. And I think there is the need for you on CT side to make your move quickly enough that you can rotate over, because your rotate is forever when you have to get out of there if you're not going to push all the way through.
There he is.
Fantastic match.
Yeah, not too bad, huh?
Yeah.
Hell of a debut for the Berserker and the Boulder.
Yeah, true.
Astralis, 15-10 and a 2-0 over Nip if they can just close in one of these last 5 rounds. But as much as we can talk about the newcomers, there is also a direct correlation between Lucky getting kills on this T side. All 4 of these rounds in a row from Astralis, all 4 of them have Lucky's name on it in one way or another.
Absolutely. It's kind of like how Device starts 1-9 on Nuke, but then gets like 6 opening kills in the first half or something like that, and then you see like their specific round conversions come because of him. Besides going negative overall or not having total impact on the map, he just changed the direction of the game completely with the frags that he got. Things get very testy now. Their backs are completely against the wall, looking to defend against a 2-0 statement match. Everyone's watching this game. I mean, the fact that it's new Astralis and new Nip all at the same time, I mean, it just couldn't be more satisfying to watch than that, especially considering it's partly a rematch. This is a tough scene. I feel like the killer for the CT side especially is the fact that you have to sit there, hold angles, wait for the game plan to come to you, you know, react accordingly, and you can't just be as aggressive as you want the whole time. Control the pace. But on the plus side, is since you can't lose, if your CT economy gets full and you start winning rounds, in new CS where you're dropping grenades to your B side players, or the where you've got the M4A1S, which is stronger than ever, you can really streak from that perspective as well. And Overpass is one of the maps that has benefited. On top of the fact that Device has been opping, but this round we'll have to see if he can afford one. I think something that was cool was when we saw the stairs, there was a couple rounds in a row where I think they won 2 rounds in a row on T side. They used the op, they won A, and they defended. And it was these 3-round streak. The second 2 were 2 rifle rounds as well. And then Glaive, I feel like, called a round where he wanted to make sure to deal with Device first before moving into the rest of his attack.
Okay.
And actually respected the fact they needed to deal with him and not just avoid the problem.
All right.
And I think that was a very brave move and point in the game. And they actually won the duel as Lucky came up from the stairs and killed Device floating by himself. Took the op out of his hands, really hurt the economy. They won that round and they haven't lost a round since.
They've been rolling it. But we will be rolling backwards. The reason for this extended pause is that Rez had crashed in that last round.
Oh, okay.
And it was confirmed by the admin that he crashed before damage.
Okay.
They couldn't pause mid-round. If you go back and see that Rez was still moving around and playing, it's because, oddly enough, based on my limited Swedish, he was playing off of Hampus's screen at one point.
Right.
So, weird situation, but to confirm, admin secured 14-10 situation. Astralis have not gotten that 15th round. Albeit an impressive B play. C'est la vie.
Yeah. Well, they'll get a new chance to try something, and this is a round where they're on 5 rifles. Last round, they basically tried the 4A setup. Probably wasn't a great idea. The execution maybe wasn't as pristine as they needed it to be, and it ended up costing them the round. So at least have another chance to try something a little different.
And they immediately go for the B defense. Total contrast. And an opening kill. Rez is going to have an opper breathing down his neck, but he turns attention just in time, and Glaive, still able to get the shot. Oof. Takes a bit of damage in the process.
Look at the rotations on the CT side. So panicked already.
Yeah,
they're
kind of
swinging.
scrambled.
You leave someone top bathrooms, they have shadow advantage on both sides, on short side and long side. So it's absolutely normal to leave someone there alone, but you also expect them to be able to delay somewhat, win a duel. So now on the 4v4, gets a lot testier. Tempest will pay a small price for that chance at a spam through smoke, and the bomb starts to make its way over towards B. I think that's the pragmatic style of Glaive, saying, like, we're going to work hard to make it seem like we're not going to do this. Oh, but then we're going to come back to it, and Blame F is that boulder you're talking about, moving slowly and rolling through the bathrooms.
That's what he does. Tough piece to stop, and Essetag catching Glaive outside of Monster.
Blame is actually walking fast on his lurk. 25 seconds, so they need to combine. He actually has to move at an appropriate tempo. They're going to come back up the stairs. He has the sight. They don't have anybody in stairs to stop him. And Blame F may have just won this round.
More and more momentum being gained by Blame. Plopsky's going to rotate up, but you can see him already walking, so he has to be cautious with this. If he clears Blame, Blame's on low HP, but Plopsky's caught right on the side of the staircase, and Astralis with the late B to A rotation, a 4v5. Made possible by the fact that Blame F picks up a crucial kill versus Device in bathrooms, and then uses all of that as space towards A.
And that's his brand. That's his namesake right there to come through with the lurk. And yes, you can tell
rolling boulder.
His style has changed already within this roster, in this new roster, but he still keeps some of his old identity. And the fact that he can use both makes him scarier than ever. Of course, a top 6 player coming out of 2020, looking to put his mark on 2021.
Yeah.
There were no questions about his stats. It was mostly about how dynamic his playstyle could be.
Yeah, looking to, get back to that point and erase some of the skepticism that is around him since the struggles of complexity. My favorite thing about this Blame F addition to Astralis is how open he was to the idea of redefining himself and slotting in wherever it has to be. And so far, we've already got a cool example of it. But we are now where we were prior to the tech issue. So all is good and all is balanced in the universe.
One upgrade is Device will see an op this round, even though they were all on M4s in that previous. But this could be at round 26.
Let's
2
get it
MP9s here for Ninjas. A FAMAS. Your first sign of poverty. Not a great position to be in. But crazier rounds have been won. And crazier comebacks have been mounted.
No doubt. Device gives up the angle just before Config walks around from connector. That could have definitely been an opening pick. But it slips through and slips by, as will Config, pushing past the bathrooms, and he dies to Device. Another 5 versus 4 from the Ninjas in pajamas. This time they have to lock it in.
Look, they're doing it again.
They have to.
They're trying to alert and alarm the A-site players. And even if you die, you still get those rotations. 3 now move over towards Monster. Smart move by NIP.
Yep.
This is a read on Glaive.
Yep. And if this smoke fades, Zipic's on full display. Molly's over the top, but they're going to stay hugged along the wall, so they're safe from damage for the most part. Plopsky has to move somewhat.
3 on the right side.
All 3.
Oh my God, this is really dangerous.
If Glaive comes around
on this side, there's no one on in the wood wall.
He's got the first one. Oh no! Oh, he drops the shot. This is going to put a lot of pressure onto the others, and it's going to be Zipix instead. 2 kills, but a third one locked in, and they turn their back to them. Rez with the double, and Ninjas with a little more fight.
That's a little different. I haven't seen that one before. 3 on the right side wall. Holy smokes! If Glaive got his first shot, I mean, they had multiple chances to clear him out. Usually want one on the wood wall or someone supporting from, barrel side or on the ramp or something like that. But because they had their MP9s, they had to think outside the box, and it ended up working. That third player that you could never expect ends up being a difference maker. And of course, Rez with his last 2 kills as well. That's a funny one. That's a funny one.
Yeah, I'm not saying that works most of the time, but it definitely managed to somehow find better impact.
Yeah, I mean, when you low guns, you got to get creative.
If it works, it works.
You appreciate the ingenuity at the very minimum. And in general, the idea, right?
Yeah.
So the execution might have looked a little messy, but the idea to overstack the B site in a situation where Glaive has continuously postured like they were going to try A for the first time and then ended B, as he always does, because that is his style. Just do what works, condition, 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 go back to what hits the hardest, means that at least Ninjas have tuned into something, right? And if they can trust those reads, then maybe we will have a real game for ourselves. First round in 5 for Ninjas.
They're going to need 4 more. Flames extinguished and quick playground control. Device going to be the front runner of the bathrooms hold. Hampus nearby, but also kind of preoccupied, especially with that door open and no short control. You could see Plopsky kind of toying with the idea of combining here with Hampus. But where's the contact going to be found? Device falls back, can't find an angle onto the ramp, but somebody could still walk right in, and sure enough, it's Lucky. Hampus now coming in from connector. Easy tap into Blame F at a 5 versus 3 for the Ninjas. A 15-12 looking solid enough. But Hampus is still kind of stuck here. Very much left on his own. Shots coming singing by, but he continues to fight. And that's going to call Rez into the action, which is exactly what Glaive would hope for. If they can get Hampus to come out of this cave.
Man, they're so scared of this backstairs potential presence, even though there's no one here for Hampus. But it's a 2-on-4 at the end of the day. However, 2-on-3 as Hampus really does get worried. They have short control here, and instead of clearing the bottom of the stairs, they go back and take that risk.
Piece by piece. Now it's Config looking to lock in Esatag. He's on his own in a 1 versus 3 with no bomb control. He knows that Device is on left, and Device is also on point. Oof. 2 op frags to close that one out. 3 inside of the round, and 3 rounds to go to force OT.
That was a testy moment, man. That looked really uncomfortable for reasons I'm not sure of with Hampus there. But ultimately, he was doing so well on the frags that he managed to kill so many that it came down to a 1-on-3, which is obviously totally fine for the Ninjas. And they survive 1 more. And Device has been quietly good in this second half. He's a threat on the A site. He's been aggressive in spots. Oftentimes, he's completely alone, which I think is kind of interesting. But he's most of the time not a liability whatsoever. He's either getting the kill or staying alive.
Now this is where the Ninjas in pajamas pull ahead. It's just pistols on the side of Astralis. This is the reward for this little mini spree. Double flash frag, Tech 9s, Deagles, 2 sets of Kevlar. You know, it's minimal here for Astralis, but you can't count out the 2 guys with the Kevlar are the heaviest fraggers, and it's the complexity duo of Config and Blame F. Maybe something explosive. Definitely looking like a pack mentality. 4 strong from Astralis, heading towards Monster, and then they somewhat split, with Config testing the waters of short. But he doesn't actually commit to that side, so this could just be the all-in. And there it is, the flashback's going to blind. Oh, and it's a Faunus from Plopsky, still good for the first 2. And Esatag gonna lay down lead, but he ends up dead alongside Hampus. Glaive, a 1v3 turned 1v2 with bombs still ahead, but only 12 health, and sure enough, Rez extends, gets him.
See how much they're testing the Monster, though. Just
2 rounds left.
Can always go back to it. Underrated. But those support flashes from Hampus were really important to segregate the attack. There's 3 in the front, and those 3 Tech 9s, luckily, even though the flash was fantastic, the nose flash out on the site, the CTs were both blind in this spot. They got their stuff together, were able to see again, but then Hampus made sure there could be no more targets could come in as fast, and then those guys also ate flashes.
Yep.
That was key.
Commitment. A killer commitment. And a very crucial round. 29 alive and kicking. Glaive gonna make sure nobody's coming at him long A fast, but Glaive is also taking on the responsibility of being alone towards A. Astralis showing an affinity for this B site in these most recent rounds. And if they get overfaced, yeah, there's a peek down Monster. Dangerous game for Esatag to play. He loses 50 points of health, as will Glaive. Plopsky's able to pick one up, but he does lose his teammate next to Monster. This doesn't need to be any kind of crazy commitment. There is still plenty of time for Astralis to piece it together.
It's hard to say who comes out ahead in this situation because now we've just entered the mid-round. Options are still open past a minute.
Dangerous.
Hampus making a move. Oh, but he gets his kill. It's going to be hard for him to fall back. He might play this aggressively.
Yes, he will.
That's a great move, Hampus. You love that confidence in round 29. He doesn't need a babysitter.
Extends in on his own and looks to go one better, but that's where Zip's going to stop this. A 1v4 attempt and everything still left to do. You look at how much, or rather how little, map control Astralis had when they walked away from that B-site 4v4. Hampus finds timing with the second kill, player with grenades in his hands. It looked like they wanted to extinguish the fire so that they could push through and try to chase him. Little did they realize he stuck around. But Hampus, well, he still has a chance, albeit slim. If he gets this short kill versus Plopsky, he can make a sprint for the B bomb site, but he needs to clear it here and now. And as he walks out, he'll be cut down by Plopsky. Round 30 coming up next.
Yes. Zipix, maybe there was a world. In this moment, again, overall, NIP have been doing a good job of holding on in the B-side opportunity. And here, Hampus, that could have been the game right there. You know, the one guy pushing this far out on A.
Flash.
And yeah, he gets all three by himself. You know, you could see him tussling with that idea in his head that if he runs away, he could just die, and that would be playing to lose. Instead, he just decided this is a good play, even if it's risky, and he comes forward as they expect him to be afraid.
Astralis gloves off. You got nothing to lose here. Overtime. Or a victory off Tech9's. Blame F with the Galil.
Oh, interesting. Only slightly different. Going to smoke the stairs and potentially move into an exec.
Yes, sir. They've got two players over towards the monster. This is it. This is the one that matters. Ninjas in pajamas. It's a solid hold from Plopsky. Another 3K coming in from the Ninjas. He's on for the ace, and Lucky shuts it down, but he then falls, and we go to OT on map 2.
They survived it from 15-10. I think it's only right. Ninjas pulled it off, the streak. 5 rounds in a row. They got it together. Their B holds looked more solid. Things are sketchy in small moments, but that's going to happen in any kind of comeback. And now in overtime, the pressure is really on Astralis because clearly they are far less drilled on this map. We've seen in both halves, they don't have as many ideas. Their B-side hits overall are not as thorough. They relied on config and Lucky to be able to get them to the 15 mark. And since then, we didn't have any crazy rounds from them. But obviously, this is Counter-Strike. You can't expect that to happen. You can't lean on that the whole time.
Nope.
But we're also at the point where you can shake it off. You've got money again. It's a reset mentally, and you've learned a lot just from this match alone. And that goes for both teams. This is data for Ninjas as well. This will come down to who's more adaptable now that they've all seen the full breadth of the rounds in both halves of regulation.
Looking for some long contact. Rez hides behind Oak. Oh, Lucky. We just said how he'd kind of gone silent, and now it's up to Device to maybe give us a multi-kill. Oh, barely misses that one as he peeks around the pluming smoke, but he'll be chased by Lucky. And inside bathrooms, Lucky gets himself a second kill. This could be the one that gets Astralis back to winning ways on this T side, but we do have that fast rotate. Ninjas. Oh, they thought they were comfortably pushing up on A. Config committed into the corner, catching Hampus by surprise.
Downloaded him instantly. Wait, what's happening right here? Flash out the CTs. Everyone's confused. Out the side of his view model, and config dies. Now the CTs, there's still 2. They're rotating from so far away though.
Plopsky does have vision.
This bomb is way far back, however. Late smokes will come in. It looks like Lucky was just setting them up.
Blame just got by.
Oh my god.
But so did Plopsky.
Yeah,
there are 2 layers. Oh, both CTs. Both CTs, but one gets caught by Blame. They still don't know about Plopsky, but they figure it out. They figure everything out.
One round.
Whether it's Device locked inside of bathrooms, that push from, I believe, Hampus up long. Hell, even the player hiding behind tree gets deleted off of the bat.
One of the most fickle spots, obviously, that you can choose to play. It can work, but it's obviously very scary. And there is just so much panic in the way that all these attacks came in. The amount of flash tactics, 2 players are blind as they're approaching each other. It's insane. They're just in revolving doors, trying to catch one another. And now, 3 rounds to go for Astralis to take it to 19, but I don't think that's just a foregone conclusion. We've seen good stuff from NIP, starting with Device.
Yes, sir. Starting to get a little more fired up. Getting into the party, and Rez as well, down towards Connector. Now, we saw some good rounds from Hampus in there. And a 5v3 immediately for Ninjas in Pajamas. This could bode very well. Who's looking to claw it back? Who's up to the challenge? Who's up to the task? Rez concedes Connector.
All about timings now. Ninjas, you know, incentivized to stay alive, but...
And also stay on site.
Don't simply want to recede, yes. Still so much time here as Astralis work. They've got a fair bit of utility left over as well.
Nade could be good, but Hampus, he's ahead of it.
Oh,
Blame F gets the barrel.
Still one close.
Lucky doubles back just to connector. Blame F incredibly low, so it's going to need to be Lucky and Xyp9x who really take up the helm on this one. And Blame F's making a good bit of sound. That activates Hampus, but Lucky shuts him down. And Lucky in overtime is right back to the impact he had in that streak of rounds in the middle.
He's still testing this. They swing right back around like a pendulum.
Crazy that they stay because they made so much sound to fake out the rotate. Rez over towards Graffiti. There's another player here on barrels. Maybe it's going to be Plopsky to lock it down. He'll shut off Lucky, and remember, Blame 10 points of health, but another couple of kills, and it's all on Rez. He's trying to play around it. Oh, and Xyp9x stops him right there, and when it matters most.
What happened? He just like lost control of his gun, didn't have enough bullets. I don't even know. Felt like he just gave up in that moment. That got ugly, and Plopsky, you could see it. He could sense that he was so low on his one currency left over, and that was ammo. And that's the kill to break open barrels. On top of these frags from Lucky, everything went right. And if you're Nip, everything went wrong.
Oh my God, that is sexy.
Can't believe that entry all alone.
Chisels his head off.
So many opportunities to stop them. Any of those kills go south. And that's a CT round all the way through. Instead, Astralis have won 2 in a row here in overtime after losing 5 straight in regulation. And definitely their weaker side.
And they're gunning for the OT. Flawless streak. Because of the presence, oh, nice Plopsky, very clean. Looked like he was gonna get caught, but he was so aware of it. However, Glaive right in and trades it back. Rez looked like he wanted to jump upwards, but Lucky's gonna know he's locked in, and Xyp9x just pushes right through smoke.
And now the rotators are getting stuffed out. There's still 1 in B. Hampus, off angle, back of the site. What can he do?
So blind, but also unspotted until Blame comes over the crest. And now a 2v4 is what they're left with. A late rotation as well from Device. He's just looking for some kind of a deep angle with this op, but Astralis look to minimize mistakes. And they're not trying to give up any easy kills. Smoke ahead of Device, and Rez now killed. This is a desperate spot and a flawless T-side in overtime from Astralis.
That's a little bit of magic to be able to pull that one off, and it's not NIP with it this time. One round to wrap it up.
I can't believe this.
That's insane. Asatag is fully allowed to be holding that smoke in that exact way, and the perfect pre-aim for Xyp9x. Everything falls apart. I mean, the trust in each other and the explosive entry pack cannot be undermined in some of these rounds. I mean, no matter how good your setups are, you watch this demo back, you're going to feel for your B-side teammates. What Astralis just pulled off is insane, but when you look at the players, you're like, I get it. Again, CT side was a little bit friendlier to them.
Gonna be a quick one here from the Ninjas, taking over short control immediately out of the round. I believe that's Config down inside connector. Yep, sure enough. Him versus Plopsky in a 1v1. Rez has cover over, so Config, he has to stay tucked in, and that's just gonna welcome Plopsky into the fight. A 5v4 for Astralis, and a fallback from Config. It costs him a little bit more HP, but Hampus is also lurking around here. And if Glaive gives false confidence to Config, that could be one thing, but Config doubles all the way back, so Glaive kind of left on his island alone.
This was the big thing, and we saw the late monster walkouts in these situations to try to get something back from NIP. It doesn't feel like they have that option anymore. Hampus was on the other side of the map, and he was the tip of the spear in that regard. And you could see Astralis, you know, they like to starve Nip out when possible. And now it looks like Nip might give them that opportunity. So many players here ready for a B-side hit.
That there is. But there's always this omnipresent question mark above the head of Lucky. And as he drops to 49, he's going to have to be as sharp as ever, tucked alongside this wall. Hampus sizing up this A site, trying to keep some kind of a commitment in position. Astralis toying with the peak. That's now 3 of their players at less than half HP, and Xyp9x just good for the one. Lucky blind as a bat. Asatag doubles up, but it's Config, and we know Berserk mode is prime and ready for the taking. Rez denies the chance. Man advantage back for Ninjas. 15 seconds on this clock, and Glaive is coming down alongside Blame. The possibility of a boost over top or not. But the smoke inside of the site gives them a path to walk this back around from Monster into short to try and join Hampus. Side by side, they could play, but instead they remain outside of Monster. Glaive's gonna look to lock them in the angle. Oh, they nearly line up, and BlameF trades for the first, but Hampus has the headshot to connect and to continue for the Ninjas in pajamas.
Looks like they've got a bit of that Stardust as well sprinkled in. It's these T-sides that are bringing the magic. Man, this is one that looked like it was so close to falling apart. And S-Attack comes through with the double entry for himself. One of the many roles that he's had to play in the last year. On his 3 different rosters so far. 2 ops in play here. Glaive, we saw, took a very passive line at long on that last round. But overall, it hasn't been a very fruitful endeavor and investment for Astralis. But again, things can change. And there's another 5v4. Oh my god.
Ninja's not making this easy in the slightest. A little variation with Lucky committed behind pillar, but fire at his feet forces him back onto barrels.
Oh, and now they're actually primed to stop the stairs rotation on top of having 3 inside the B site. Does Plopsky know that his opponents are near?
And at this point, Singular Config left to lurk on A alone as Glaive doubles back.
He's resmoking
yes, he is.
the back of Monster for them to bleed some more time off this clock, and they'll take a passive but proactive tactic inside the site.
Really sick utility usage, making the most of the change. Allowing for the 3 players from Astralis to just keep guns up inside of B.
Honestly, I mean, the setup where they're sitting, I think they allow themselves to get entryed inside the B. Again, no one on the half wall, no one on the other side of Monster, but they just have the player advantage, which might make the difference. And I feel like they know it's going to be B.
They have to be ready. They know that this battle is coming and that it could be the final one in this BO3. Zipix, good for 1, and Lucky as well. Rez has some kind of an answer as he looks to come in from short. Lucky's got the cover of the barrels. And who is this to join him? Device on the cusp of it. In with the headshot versus Lucky. Glaive is down in water. 11 seconds left. Config looking to attack from short, and there it is! The new Astralis debut with the 2-0 over Ninjas.
Oh my god, what a win. They actually make it happen. We don't see Mirage because they don't need it. NIP took them to overtime with a 5-round comeback into OT. And with a bit of X Factor and some great mid-rounding, they made it possible. I could see an argument to say that NIP are maybe the better team on the map, clearly look more experienced, maybe made more mistakes, but could have also got unlucky. But that's just, that might be the Astralis that all teams will have to get through from here on out. Because those players are not playing differently than they used to. They're just doing it on Astralis now.
Just battle hardened, dude. Straight out of the gate as well. Of all things, to come out, to have that resilience, to give up 5 rounds in a row to go to OT, and then to look better in that T side than ever. And what a recovery in overtime from Lucky. Because we kind of hyped him up as being like this momentary success within that T side. 4 rounds in a row he gets kills, 4 rounds in a row they win, and then suddenly things look doomy and gloomy. But a recovery. OT starts. He starts getting impact outside of Connect.